Hello there, Sagittarius. So, this month you have a major opportunity for a refresh, a rewrite, a clean slate, and an exciting new development in the realm of romance, passion, creativity, those things that light your fire, the things that get you excited and passionate about life. We have a solar eclipse happening in Aries on April 8th in your house of creativity, passion, romance. So, what kind of portal would you like to step into? It would be a great idea to, if you can, set some time aside for yourself on that day to kind of reflect on what you're noticing, what's popping up for you, what's been on your mind, or what kind of messages and patterns and etc. are arriving on the day of, because they will point you towards something that is beginning to develop in your life. And it's just the beginning. This is a new moon, right? So it's like it is only beginning to fill up with light. All right. Oh, hi, by the way. I'm Madeline. Nice to see you. Very excited to have you. This is Isis. She's also excited to see you, despite appearances. So, as always, Sagittarius, I'm going to pull a tarot spread to look into the story of your month, anything that your people want to share with you for your highest good. And then we will close off the reading by pulling a couple cards from the Star Codes Astro Oracle deck. So let's get into it, shall we? Thank you, Spirit, loved ones, guides, elevated well ancestors, all those who show up in the white light for Sagittarius, Sagittarius Sun, Sagittarius Moon, Sagittarius Rising, all those who support the love and liberation of all beings. Want to share, please, Spirit, what you want to share with Sagittarius for the month of April. What kind of events, archetypes, dynamics are showing up for them? And what do you want them to know, do, or embody for their highest good? Spirit, we always want to help Sagittarius be present and step into the future that is most fulfilling, fun, easeful, peaceful, secure, abundant. What do you want to share with them for the month of April to help them create that future? Perfect. Okay. Sagittarius. Let's go. Hey, yes, something new is coming. And generally, that happens when we are shutting the door on something that had to go. Wow. Talk about starting fresh. Talk about new moon and portal energy. Let's talk about it, Sagittarius. Here you are at the center of your spread, the Queen of Cups. So deepen your feelings. So important to note, Queen and King, nothing to do with sex and gender, everything to do with kind of personality type and the phase of life that you're in, right? So a queen is very much concerned with their internal world, so their own creativity, their own emotions, their own inner circle and inner child, and etc. So really doing some deep, deep reflecting. The Queen of Cups is also very deeply intuitive. So again, there's, Spirit was saying before we even pulled the cards, is like it would be great for you to take some time for deep reflection, for some self a deep dive into self. If we were to look at where have I been over the last year, we just had the spring equinox, right? So it's like the new moon in Aries for witches and astrologers is the new year versus January 1st when we're in the fucking dead of winter and still trying to finish up the cycle of the previous year, right? So if you do a reflection from this spring to last spring, how have you developed? What have you noticed? What is it that you want to put a stop to? What is it that you want to put a start to, etc.? If you're watching this before April 8th, then you've got some runway to start pondering these questions now and then notice what shows up for you on that day, because things are making themselves very apparent to you this month and you're going to be feeling deeply. So I feel that it's really important for you to, if you don't already have maybe a habit like journaling, and it doesn't have to be, conventional, sit down with a pen and a piece of paper and journal. You could do a video journal, you could audio journal and like just do voice memos on your phone if like sitting and writing isn't your thing. But reflecting and having a place to like look back and be like, oh yeah, this is when I was reflecting on this or that, or this is what was happening on in these days, so for some of you, this does not apply to all of you, but for some of you, spirit is like, some of you do keep a record, and it would be wise of you to like make some time to truly like reflect and do a deep dive on like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is when I was going through that, and this is what I learned, and etc. A little bit of a um retrospective. That's the word that spirit is using. I was like, huh, what are y'all saying? Retrospective. Okay. So crossing the fact that you're going to be deep in your heart, hello, fifth house, romance, passion, etc. Page of Wands, a message comes in, and possibly the messenger pops into your life, right? And there's a spark, there's a calling, there's kind of, I'm hearing the word an invitation. So whether explicit or implicit, there is an invitation to like spark something in your life, to go on a new adventure, and specifically to step through a door and close it behind you. That's what I'm hearing. Let us go to the past, and then I will share more about that. In the past, Sagittarius, if we have to see it anywhere, at least we see it here. Five of Pentacles is the struggle. It is hard work. It is like grinning and bearing it. It is something that Spirit is saying is right now is like, well, once we get through this difficult time, we're gonna, and that's what like I'm hearing, but it's like, is that right? Is that right? Or are you just bullshitting me and telling me like, yeah, once we get through this hard period, it'll still be the same, but then, we'll talk what I feel like this is a track that for some of you there will be an invitation to stay on, of like long suffering, of just tromping through the snow without any signs of stopping. You know what I mean? Like no end in sight. And there's an opportunity to stay on that path, that long suffering path, that martyr path is something that Spirit is saying. And that's not very Sagittarian. So if you're feeling out of sorts, or if you're feeling like you've been going without, it's time to make a change. And it feels like, again, that Page of Wands is coming in and giving you, if nothing else, the glimmer of hope of like a different life that you could lead, a different opportunity, a different option. That's what I'm hearing. So, in the present, going on within you, death, the end of a cycle. Death is not the Tower. When the death card pops up, no one's excited about it, right? But I want to make clear that death is a natural thing. Phases in our life come to an end naturally, and actually what becomes unnatural is trying to hold on to things that are dead. You know what I'm talking about? Spirits being very like visceral and being like, are you taking the corpse of this relationship, stuffing and propping it up in the corner and trying to pretend to everybody like, yeah, this is my husband, Jake, or whatever the fuck, and everyone's like, that motherfucker dead. What's she talking about? Like, do you know what I'm talking about? Important moment to say, of course, these are general readings, Sagittarius. So I am not saying to every Sagittarius listening to this that you're in a dead relationship, blah, blah, blah. No. What is it in your life that you are propping up as if it is still working for you or still enlivening to you? And it's like, this is actually not it. And as a matter of fact, something has not worked out. Something has disappointed me. And I need to go ahead and acknowledge that, or I'm not going to be able to move on from it. You know what I mean? Something hasn't worked out. I wish that it had gone a different way. It didn't. And I need to reconcile with that. And that's what's going to allow me to actually move on, go ahead and shut the door behind me, and keep moving forward, right? Important thing here in the Five of Cups. 2 cups are still standing. This person is wearing their mourning cloak. They are looking at the spilled milk. They are crying over it. They are wishing that they could pick it up. They're still in their feelings. That's okay. Something to notice, you have 2 5s present in your reading. For me as a reader, 5s are tests, meaning you can lose yourself in these phases. We can spend a long time in the 5 phases of life because we get like kind of stuck in a cycle. This sucks. Yeah, this sucks. Yeah, this sucks. Yeah, this sucks. And it's kind of like going down a drain versus like, this is really hard. Maybe I should ask for help. Or, God, I really miss this. Let me make sure that I am not forgetting what is good in my life and what still stands in my life that I really love, and the kind of help and support that is available to me if I can humble myself enough to go ask for it. You know what I'm talking about, Sagittarius? You need to feel your feelings, okay? So no one's rushing you through the mourning and the shutting this door behind you. As a matter of fact, it would be a fucking big mistake to rush through that. So if it sounds like I'm telling you to hurry up and make a decision, no. You need to feel all of your feelings to where, okay, even though this sucks, it's like I'm not going to be yay shutting this door behind me. We're not going to get to that point necessarily. We get to the point of like, yep, this is the right thing to do. Click. And we can be at peace. So, important to note that in the background of this card, there is a bridge over this troubled water, and there is a new place for this person to get to when they're ready. Mourn what you need to mourn, and Spirit is saying, if and especially it's in the deep past, because there may be certain things that you didn't even know that your like emotional sweater was hung up on. This nail back here, and that you were fucking losing your sweater. You were unthreading. You need to mourn it. And when you're ready, close the door. Things are going to get so much better. Better and better and better. The sun shows up as where you find yourself. Again, solar eclipse, new moon, and sun in the sign of Aries. And the sun rules the 5th house in astrology. So that house that this eclipse is happening in for you. So Spirit is like, if you have any doubts that you can come alive, be excited, be your old Sagittarian, joyful, exuberant, adventurous self. Shameless is something that Spirit is saying, your shameless self. It's available. It's here. You might need to let go of some shit that isn't yours to carry in order to enjoy that exuberance and freedom. The 7 of Swords is sitting in the energy around you, so kind of the climate around you. Now, I'm hearing a couple different things with this. One is you may be taking your swords and leaving. Like, okay, I can't take everything with me, but I can take this and I gotta go. I'm leaving the fight. I'm getting off of the battlefield, and like, there's no need to look back and regret when we have taken the time to know that for sure, we're ready to let this thing go, and we're ready to step through the door, take what we have with us, and leave behind whatever's not ours. So, again, advice to, if you are one of these Sagittarians who's like, God, I am thinking about leaving this relationship or this job or this whatever, this family system, whatever, really get really clear with yourself so that you're not leaving and looking behind, leaving and looking behind, leaving and looking behind. You want to be able to shut the door behind you and keep moving. Now, the other thing that I'm hearing is that some of you know that there is someone around you who is behaving in a shady way, and this is what you are mourning, and this is the hard times that you've been going through, is that someone else is taking stuff that is not theirs, and they're getting away with something. I'll say this. If you know that that is true, that is happening to you, Spirit is sharing with you that you are not devalued by that. I'm not trying to invalidate for anybody who might be feeling devalued by that kind of behavior, because that is totally fucking valid and understandable. But Spirit is like, you though, you, your beautiful eternal spirit, you are still perfect. you are still whole. You are still meant to be here exactly as you are. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to forget anything. You don't have to wipe anything clean. You are loved. We are so glad that you are present, and we are sending you invitations to remind you how much we want you on this earth and how much we want you being your whole true self, and that perhaps that whole true self was a little bit getting held back and put through it. But you're ready to set yourself free. Sitting in the future, the star, moving forward. Maybe you don't know every step, but you know what is right for you. You know what your values are. Spirit is saying that's your North Star, is like, okay, no matter what this other person is doing, what I care about is being honest, is being good, is being whatever. Fill in the blank. You stay with you. Do not be tempted to shift and change to like match energy or manipulate someone else into changing something or whatever. The whole point is for you to be you. And that's, Sagittarian and Archer, the honest one. I don't have to belabor that point, I don't think. But even the most aligned of us, when we are in a little bit of struggle or like are going without, we can start to question ourselves, and we can start to maybe like twist ourselves up a little bit. Do not twist yourself up. The sun says, be exactly as you are. Throw your arms open, because the world is throwing its arms open to you. And even if you are making a choice to shut a door behind you and to move into a direction that is unknown, that is vulnerable, you are being encouraged that your vulnerability will summon liberation. Star is not wearing armor. She's not even wearing clothes. She is just giving of herself what she has to give. Much like this person. So you don't need to be canny. You don't need to be cunning. You don't need to calculate. You need to go with what you feel. You need to trust what you feel and go with it. A choice is being presented to you, an invitation, as I said earlier with that Page of Wands. Now, sitting in the potential position, Two of Wands, it's up to you. Do you want to stay where you are and with what you've been doing and keep cultivating it? Or do you want to respond to this call? Do you want to respond to this invitation? If you want to respond, make sure that you close the damn door behind you and that you don't find yourself slipping into a situation where you're sneaking around because you're not quite ready to close this door, but you want to open up this other door. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, stick with your values. I'm saying, be honest. Okay. The key to this whole thing, Page of Pentacles, new opportunity, another messenger and another message. So again, for those of you who perhaps have been dealing with like a literal, I'm going without and I'm working really hard and I'm not getting paid enough, the invitation could have something to do with new job, new income, new opportunity. If you are open to that, if that is something that you want, then that is more encouragement to show up in the world exactly as you are. No armor, no bullshit. Be you. State what it is that you want and what you're here to provide clearly, and allow the world to accept you. You don't have to know every step to get to the thing that you want. Follow your faith. That's what the star is about. Like, no, I can't see the path, but I can follow the North Star. Which makes me want to ask Sagittarius if you know your North Node in your astrological chart. Nowadays, when I look at the star, I always think of the North Node because the North Node in our chart is like our North Star. So here's a little tip for you. Go download yourself an app or do like a free birth chart and see where your North Node is and look into what that means for you. North Node in Scorpio, North Node in Taurus, whatever. North Node in the 5th house. Look at that shit. Go read what it means. Follow the clues. It's a spiritual scavenger hunt, okay? Spirit say it over and over. It's a spiritual scavenger hunt. Follow the clues and stick with your values. Okay. Now, Let's pull a couple cards from Star Codes Astro Oracle deck. Thank you, Spirit. I want to pull some guidance, some clarity, some loving messages for the assistance of all Sagittarians. Spirit, what do you want to share with them in the month of April? Yep, okay. So, first card up, 7th house, relationship. It's not the 5th house, but they've got some Venn diagram, some similar themes because the 7th house is also about love. It's a different form. It's about partnerships. It's about one-on-ones, right? So the key word here is relationship. And your second card is transits. The key word here is climate. Transits in astrology describe the astrological weather, thus the keyword climate. So what is the climate of your relationship / relationships? Because again, 5 of Cups, 5 of Pentacles, 7 of Swords. If you are dealing with a climate that is dishonest or manipulative or whatever, you want to get really clear within yourself. What is true for you? What is authentic for you? What is aligned for you? We cannot change the other person, and we know that, right? But we can shift how we operate within the dynamic to show that we are not down with doing this the same old way. Okay? Okay. That was a deep one, Sagittarius. What do y'all think? How do y'all feel? Let me know. As always, I appreciate any stories or reflections or questions that you might want to share with me. I would love, love, love to get into it with you. I appreciate you being here, Sagittarius. If you ever want to have this bug-eyed experience in real life, the ways to book a personal reading are down in the description box below. I appreciate you very much for being here, Sag. And if I don't see you in your mid-monthly reading, then I hope I will see you in May. Bye, Sag.